Hello, hello. So, all right, take a deep breath with me. Sigh it out. Good. Another deep breath. And go ahead and give yourself a big hug. Go ahead and give yourself a big hug. Mm. We are diving into the good and juicy stuff. All right. Self-care, self-love on this Mother's Day. So I want you to feel and experience some extra love inside of you. Because how can you really feel appreciated on the outside if you're not appreciating yourself on the inside? And to reverse that, when you do appreciate yourself on the inside, then feeling and accepting appreciation on the outside comes naturally and you're not as dependent on it, but you'll probably experience it more. Actually, you'll draw it more into your life. Right. So just be with me here. We're going to just enjoy some time to be. I'm going to take this opportunity. We're going to do this a little different today. Usually for our self-care Sundays, I'm kind of going through in a more structured way. And I decided that I'm going to make this a little bit more of a personalized experience today. So I just finished a absolutely beautiful experience leading some people through a guided movement and meditation on experiencing deep self-love and care. So that was a private event, and I'll be doing more of those on, more specific themes or, just more of them, because we really can't use enough of that. We can't get, there's not too much. You can never have too much of love. Really, it just multiplies, and it just, the more love there is inside, the more love there is to spread outside, right? So the more love you give yourself, the more you have to give. Okay? Is that true? Put a 1 if you know that that's true. Go ahead, throw me a comment. Do you know that that's true in your life? Have you experienced that? When your cup's running empty, what are you going to do? There's nothing to give with, right? We all know these analogies and these, put your seatbelt on first or your mask on first in the airplane. We know that, we've heard that, but are we implementing it into our lives? So, but I'm not here to lecture you today. And I hope that's not the way it comes across any day. But I wanted to actually share a little bit more of my personal story and experience, which I'm not used to doing. So I wanted to put myself out there on a limb and go ahead and do that with you. So first of all, welcome. Are there any announcements? No immediate announcements right now. Any upcoming events? There'll be plenty. But usually we go through, like I said, the 6 pillars of holistic health and stress relief that I teach people in my workshops and classes, and most specifically in the one-on-one or group coaching that I do. So I encourage you to check that out, to inquire about that, because whatever is ailing you, whatever's stressing you, there are solutions for. Mark my word, there are solutions for it, with time, with dedication. But there are tools that are very effective. okay, at addressing really anything that you're facing. Someone has been there, done that, and there are tools for it. So I help people, on all levels. So the 6 pillars, I'm just going to go through them real quickly right now, that I work with people on, is how we breathe, because that's number one. You can't live without breath. And when you learn to use it as a powerful tool that it is, watch out, world. Here you come. Okay. And it changes your immune system, boosts your immune system. It changes your mental, emotional state, releases stress and anxiety right in the moment. It's powerful. And how we think and speak, when we get more control over that, because I was talking with the people in the class, everything's a learned behavior. Stress, anxiety, all these limiting beliefs and thoughts, they are learned patterns and behaviors and thoughts. We can unlearn them and learn new ones, right? And find out what is more true. What is true for us now? Okay, so we work with our thoughts and our speaking and our nutrition. What we take into our body plays a huge, huge role in our stress level, in our overall health. We really can't diminish the importance of nutrition on our health and what we take into our body. Detoxing and what we let go of, equally as important. Yep. Equally as important. And how we live and move in our bodies, in our life, sleep, relationships, you name it. All of these things and more play a huge factor in our overall health and sense of well-being in our life. And last but not least, what I call the glove that fits over the hand, is our energy and how we connect in the world and with ourselves, with the divine, if you will. So all of that plays a vital role in our overall sense of peace and health and vitality and health, in being productive and happy and enjoying life, right? So those are the 6 pillars of holistic health and stress relief as a brief overview that I work with people on in my holistic stress relief solutions, this holistic stress solution program, and other ones that I'm developing. If you want to be actually part of my beta program, okay, so the beta program is on its way, is launching. And if you want to be one of the ones who get kind of the lowest rate that it's ever going to be, you can jump on board now. Okay. That's going to be, there's a window open for the next month or so, I'd say, where I'm accepting people into the beta program for my holistic stress solution program. And it's a 4-week program where I walk you through all of these 6 pillars in a lot of detail, personalized, in a personalized way for you. So whatever is going on in your life, we will address, okay? As well as equipping you with practical tools that you will implement into your daily life in a very, systematic, routine way, one by one. So it's not going to be overwhelming. We're avoiding and we're reversing overwhelm. And in the process, also avoid reversing pain in the body, okay? Illnesses, increasing immune system. Maybe, if it's something that's a desire to you, maybe even increasing sex drive, maybe increasing your vitality during the day, your sense of your energy, your productivity, your inspiration. Believe me, so many people have told me, and, I've experienced this in my own life, when I implement these 6 pillars of holistic health and stress relief that I teach others and I implement in my own life, I've experienced so much more inspiration, so much more clarity in mind, because when you're peaceful, then the inspiration actually can come in more, naturally. So then I'm more productive, more, in my day, in my life, in my work, my business, you name it, feel more content, more happy. So there's so many benefits of, a holistic stress relief program like what I'm offering people. So so you don't have to live in pain anymore. You don't have to live in illness, being afraid of being sick. That you can, almost bulletproof your immune system, really, because the stress directly impacts the immune system. The more stress you have, on a sustained basis, your immune system is going to be plummet. So if you haven't experienced that in your own life, I'd be surprised. I certainly have, over and over again. So I encourage you to get help. There are so many things I do work with supplements and products that also help to increase one's immune system and overall resilience. So if you're not ready to dive into a full program to work on your, holistically, we can also do some piecemeal work and see what could just be benefiting you right now in the moment. So yeah. All right. So there you have it. Now, gonna dive in. Today, instead of, doing, like I said, a health lesson per se, I'm going to just share a little bit about my past experience and where I come from and why I'm so passionate about these topics of holistic health and stress relief. Now, I don't think I could even summarize it in an hour. I don't think I could not summarize it, but tell the whole story in an hour's time. Ultimately, there's all, we always have a lot of twists and turns and a lot of different experiences in our life that add up to, where we are. But to summarize, health is definitely been a personal, and stress relief is very personal to me. I've had a autoimmune condition my whole life, psoriasis, so in the skin, which growing up I didn't know because it wasn't taught, was connected with stress level, was connected with gut health and your digestion. So, that certainly I wasn't aware of that till later on, till early adulthood, that I started becoming more aware of that. But I dealt with stress, chronic stress and anxiety throughout childhood. I was actually a very nervous child. And I was very shy a lot of time. I was, so stress and anxiety was really crippling for me, really crippling as a child, and I remember thinking, like, I literally remember having this thought, maybe I was 10 years old. I don't know, less than 15. I know that, and maybe even less than 10. I'm like, why are my shoulders so tight at this age? Like, I'm a kid and I felt like I was holding the weight of the world on my shoulders. And I probably was, at some level. So have you experienced that? Especially as women, we tend to do that, whether it's taking on extra weight from our family or even as adults, in our adult families, or, you name it, just as, we tend to think we have to take on this extra weight. You don't have to. But yeah, so in dealing with anxiety was something that, I've always had to overcome, since really early on. And so I've learned, but it wasn't something that I was content living with. I really knew I wanted to break free from it and find solutions and be, happier in my life, be more content, be more at peace with myself. So I've been on a long healing journey, towards that goal. And, it's taken me a lot of different places. It's taken me to be a part of a spiritual center where I really delved in that area, taken me into holistic health where, I've learned about many different energy healing, nutrition, health coaching, supplements, you name it, so many different things, movement, expressive and therapeutic movement, qigong, so many different area, yoga that allow us to connect more deeply with ourselves and to let go of toxins, quite literally and figuratively. So literally, something a lot of people don't realize is that quite often there are toxins, heavy metals and other toxicity that actually either exasperates or in fact causes a lot of stress and anxiety in the body and mind. So whereas you might think, oh, it's just in my mind. Well, if your body wasn't dealing with, fighting off these toxins, these foreign substances that are detrimental to it, then you most likely would not be experiencing such high levels of stress and anxiety. Okay, so stress and anxiety is actually at a cellular level. Depression, all these things that we might be dealing with, pain, inflammation, it's at a cellular level. Okay, so there are things to address that cellular level. A lot of things that I've found. And so I love sharing that with people. So to continue with my personal story a little bit more. So in college, I actually started delving into these holistic arts, healing arts, if you will. I did art therapy. I started learning about energy healing, energy medicine, learned the Reiki, found my Reiki teacher, master teacher there. And then, kept going from there. But there was a lot of inner work, a lot of inner healing that needed to be done. So over the years, I kept going and learning and doing my own inner work as I did. And then over time, at different times, my autoimmune condition was spurred up, got triggered, more intensely. Even starting in my early 20s, I remember I started having some symptoms of psoriatic arthritis, which my mom has actually quite intensely, but she's been able to live with it quite well, thank God. But it was becoming even like a sense of debilitating, or on the edge of debilitating for me at an early age. But with some dietary lifestyle changes, becoming more, eating cleaner, a lot of those symptoms went away. So it really wasn't something on my mind for quite some time, because I was like, okay, I knew I was susceptible to it, but it really wasn't affecting me in my daily life until it was actually literally a month after giving birth. So I had my first and only child about a little bit over 2.5 years ago, just before 40. And the pregnancy actually was quite well. Physically wise, I was actually very stressed. It was a very stressful time for me. I was not in a good relationship. I did not have a stable living situation. We had a house, but it wasn't stable. Let's just leave it at that. So there was a lot going on in my life, a lot of stress. And my vital signs and everything, symptoms, there was no signs of illness going on, outwardly. I was very healthy and all that. I had a wonderful, good birth, which a lot of women cannot say, very sadly. I had a home birth, actually. And I opted and I educated myself very well. I did the Yvette Bradley method course and really wanted a natural birth experience. I knew that's what I needed for myself, that I wanted. And so I highly recommend educating yourself on birthing if that's something that you're going into. And so everything went well, physically speaking, up until, I was tired as all get out. Oh, and I actually had a car accident where it left me with a slight concussion a couple months before the birth. So yeah, I was stressed. Emotionally, physically, I was kind of worn out. But like I said, the birth went fine. Afterwards, that postpartum period was tricky. So I don't know, a lot of people, experience all different things postpartum. But for me, it was some ups and downs for sure. In general, it was good. But it was a month out that my body, like I say, sometimes put up that stop sign and said, okay, I've had enough. And I backlashed, and I developed pretty much overnight huge inflammation in my body. Starting my knees blew up. Never experienced that before, so I really didn't know what was going on. But besides all the other factors of having a newborn that was taken care of, and not getting the movement I needed, not getting probably the nutrition or the sunlight, the vitamin D that is anti-inflammatory that I needed. So there's a lot of factors that added up and that compiled on top of each other that triggered a huge autoimmune reaction in my body. And, one after another, I just got, really, inflamed. And literally to the point where I had trouble or couldn't walk for some period of time. So yeah, it was intense. Luckily, I had help to get through that. And I still had a partner, and was able to be with, even though I wasn't near my family at the time, but was able to get help, as I needed, luckily. So I was, so that's been about 2 years now. It's been up and down since then. I've had a period of time of feeling really good again physically. And then a lot of the inflammation actually came back. So this past winter, and since the winter, even up until now, I'm still dealing with some of the inflammation, some of the effects of the autoimmune condition being triggered in me. And it's taught me a lot. Because my body needs movement. My body needs, there's still a lot of detoxing that I'm working on, and I'm learning about on different levels of detoxing. There was heavy metal toxicity that I'm dealing with, that I'm, working through. So there's a lot that was going on that was triggering the autoimmune condition to get so as bad as it did. And in addition to, not least of all, the stress. So emotional, mental stress, which is really a cycle. So, it compiles, if you don't have stress management tools that you're using on a regular basis, which at the time I didn't, because it was, I was in that cycle, that downward spice cycle. So, where I wasn't using my tools effectively at the time because I was already really stressed, right? We've all been there, done that. We're not perfect, right? So that's why we need someone, that helping hand oftentimes to walk us through, and help us. That's life. That's humans. That's who we are, and that's what we need. That's the reality. So if you can relate, if there have been times where you're like maybe kicking yourself in the foot because you're like, I knew better, why didn't I do better? I had the tools, but I wasn't implementing them. Believe me, I've been there, done that plenty of times. And that was something that actually slowed me down for a while. Because I was like, well, I should have done better. I should have known better. Okay, so what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it now? The best thing you can do is just take the next step forward, right? Start fresh. Every day, every moment is an opportunity to start fresh, right? So now is an opportunity because there's different levels of learning. That's true? Put a 2. I haven't been doing this regularly, but put a 2 if you know that that's true. That you can know something in your mind, but that doesn't mean you know it. That doesn't mean you do it, right? It's very different to have head knowledge than to have integrated knowledge in your body, in your life. Okay, it's a very different thing. So I had to learn kind of the hard way, that difference, because, I thought I knew something. No, sometimes I had to get kind of, put on my back again and be like, you got to learn this from the ground up. You got to really know it. And I'm so grateful for that ultimately, because now, coming back from that experience, I know the importance of stress management on a daily basis, right? So now things, before I would let things get to me, and I'm like, no, I can't let that get to me anymore. I can't, I know the value of my health, because, it's easy to say, health is important, but unless you don't have it, then it's important, right? When you start, knowing the fragility of our bodies and our even our mental state. I mean, hello, our mental health and emotional health can be very fragile if we're not taking care of it and paying attention, especially these days, right? So that's something I take extremely seriously these days. I don't take it for granted. I've come and I've struggled with depression mostly from the anxiety. It all come at different times in my life, and it's it all compiles on each other. So when you work your way back, and this is always what I don't know, I could say prided myself on or felt good about, that I've learned there's a pattern to coming back. There are steps that you can take. Like I said, going down is a learned behavior, and coming up is also a learned behavior. So coming out of illness, coming out from disease is a pattern. There's a pattern to it. There's a path to it. And so, even as simple as, weight loss, or, getting back in shape, that's over and over again. I've had to, okay, now I'm trying to get back in shape again. I let myself go a little bit too long. Maybe after the birth, we need to get back in shape, get our body back, and life back together. But there's a path to it, and a pattern to how to do that. When you learn that path, those steps that you need to take, then anything's possible. You can always come back. You're not afraid of failure anymore. You're not afraid of, again, put down on your back again. And because, okay, what can I learn deeper this time? So there's always a way out, and anything's reversible. Okay. It is, with the consequences, but it's reversible. You can, ultimately you can get there. So, and faster when you know the way, and you have help. Okay. Can I emphasize that point? And you have help. So now I'm learning better about my business. I have business coaches. I have, mentors. I'm not trying to do it on my own anymore, So that's, for a long time I was trying to do things more on my own. It doesn't work that way. No, it doesn't work that way with our health, with our life, with our relationship, unless we're working, as a partnership. That's when we can really make change. Okay, so let's see. Anything else I want to share personally? There's always lots of stuff, but I hope that was helpful to you. Say thank you in the comments if you appreciate hearing some of my personal story and struggles that I've been through. I can go into more details, I'm sure, but that's the gist of it. And let's see. So that's that for now. During the week, I want to share more about some practical products and tips that you can use as women to increase, your health, your reproductive health, and things like that, because there's unfortunately so many toxins just in taking care of our, potential toxins in taking care of our reproductive health, our periods, or, maintaining our, sexual integrity, when contraception, oftentimes if, a lot of the methods that are available to nowadays actually add toxicity to our body instead of, taking it away. So it's really, we want to be cautious and conscious of what we're using, what we're doing in and with our body that's either helping it or adding more toxicity into our life and our body. Okay, so we'll go into that another time, but just throwing that out there. So as women, as mothers, as people, the transition to motherhood is a huge one. And even the transition to adulthood is a huge one, right? There's all kinds of memes and sayings about that nowadays. It's a whole joke because this is a stressful time period, and you don't need me to tell you that. You don't need me to tell you that this is a stressful time. What's this hair doing? I don't know. There it is. Okay, I got it. So self-care is no joke. I'm not up here talking about self-care because I think it's a good idea. I actually think it's necessary. I actually know that it's necessary. Because when we as women start prioritizing ourselves, our kids will learn to also prioritize themselves as they grow too. What lesson we teach them lessons through our actions, and the men will learn to step up, right? They will have to. When we stop doing everything for them, they will have to step up. Okay? So we got to kind of check ourselves in how much we think we have to do when we really don't have to do all that. And we don't have to have those big standards that we think. Nobody else is living our life except for you. Your life except for you. Nobody has to come check your house and, give you a grade on it and how clean it is. No, who cares? If it works for you and your kids and your family, let it be. You'll get to it when you get to it. And if your standards are high, okay, then see what you can do to meet those standards. Or let's have an energy session and see if we can release some of that control and some of that, OCD or whatever it is, because that's possible too. But, there's all different ways of going about things, okay? All different methods. So there's always solutions. All right. So I actually just had a long meditation experience with the class I did. So I'm going to end with a really short, just prayer and affirmation, breathing affirmation with you today. And to get more of the goodies, you're just going to have to sign up for the class. I'm sorry, but that's true. I've posted some really good meditations in the past. So if you want a good meditation today, scroll down and I'm sure you'll find one. Or jump on my YouTube channel because I've started doing posting them on YouTube as well. So same name, Be Well with Danielle on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe, you'll be one of the founding subscribers. All right. So there you have it. So I want you to take a deep breath in and say to yourself, I am love. I am loved. And exhale. I exhale doubt. I exhale all self-doubt. I am peace. I inhale and take in peace. I exhale fear. I exhale all fear. I inhale oneness. I exhale stress. Let go of stress. I inhale, I am enough. I am enough. Exhale, self-doubt, fear, lack. I am enough. Inhale, I am enough. Let go of fear and doubt and judgment. Inhale, I am enough. I am enough. Exhale, all doubt and all fears, all judgments. What I do is enough. What I do is enough. Let go of all insecurities, all doubts. Inhale, I love myself just the way I am. I love myself just the way I am. Exhale, judgments and fears, doubt. I accept and appreciate myself just the way I am. I love and appreciate myself just the way I am. Exhale, let go of stress and tension, judgments. And wrapping yourself in a big hug, giving yourself a big hug, gentle caress, rocking yourself, holding your heart, putting your hands on your heart and saying directly into your heart space, thank you for everything you are. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for everything you give me. I receive it. I receive it. And now give a gift to your heart. Maybe it's an image. Maybe it's some words you want to say. And then listen. What does your heart want to tell you? Listen close. Say, I'm here. I'm ready to receive you. What is your heart telling you? Listen close and say, thank you. I hear you. I receive you, your gift to me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I will be here with you. I will stay with you and receive you always. I will do a better job of staying with you. I love you and appreciate you. So, yay. Come back and do this at any time. So, blessings to you and your family. All right. Learn well, grow well, and live well. With Be Well with Danielle. Amen. Thank you for joining me again. Until next time, hope to hear from you soon.